Okay, hello, hello. How are we doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. Square peg, square peg make games. How are you? We are back at it again with our Zombie Game Jam. I've got 7 days, 11 hours, and 34 minutes, and I'm starting to feel the heat because I normally just chill on Sunday nights, but today I decided I better get out there and actually do something because, well, you know, it's starting to get a little bit, ooh, whoa, desktop audio. It's starting to get to that point where I want to make something, I know I'm close to the full, I don't know how to put it, I'm close to the full loop. I've got my enemies spawning. The scaling is a bit wonky, but, you know, it works. And now I want to do upgrades, and then we can design the level or make it procedural or something like that. So that's the plan. Here's the level as it stands. The one thing I wanted to do was this scalar, the damage is way too much because I'm multiplying it by like 1.5, and then the next time I'm multiplying it by 1.6, and so it's increasing by quite a lot every time. It's getting close to doubling when it gets up there, and I don't want it to be that much. I want it to be more, but not that much. So realistically, I actually want to add this to the same. So it's like damage times scalar. Someone wrote something really good, and I've forgotten what they wrote. But essentially, we just want to add that to a base damage rather than multiply it. Something like that. So I think that makes more sense. Rather than 1 plus, we just go multiplier divided by 10. So it's 10% of the multiplier. So like every round, eventually, like round 8, that's going to be 80%. So we're going to be adding base plus 80 rather than, a lot more. So it's, and I also need like a base damage. So I've got damage, health, and speed, but I need to have something else rather than like damage equals damage times scalar, because I want damage to be static, the same every time. So I really need to create like a new damage, a couple of variables here. Maybe I'll just make it D equals damage, var S equals speed, and var H equals health. And then we're going to go damage equals damage plus. I'm still going to run into the same issue. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay, we need... Get rid of this. Put that down there. Take this. I need to create separate variables that are initiated at runtime and never changed. Alright, so var base damage. It's a float. And it will be nothing, actually. And we've got base health. It's also a float, and var base speed. Okay, and then in the ready function, we don't have one. The music's really low in the mix, so it's okay. Okay, so ready. Are we ready? We are going to put out there. So base damage equals damage. Base health equals health, and base speed equals speed. All right, and then for this set stats, we are going to say damage equals damage plus base damage times scalar. So that doesn't increase. It just gets multiplied by the scalar and then added to the damage. So that should slow the scaling that gets out of control in the later stages. So speed plus. Base speed multiplied by the scalar. I'm just going to change that to scale because it's kind of like more clear what it is. Oh no, I can't do that. That's why I had it with a funny name. Underscore scale. Or I could just like build that into the whole thing. Anyway, it's not that important. We just need to get health equals health plus base health times scale. Okay. Better. So that should feel pretty good. The wave number still feels like kind of crazy. I did want to look at that because it's a big one, and we get some narrowing going on. That's fine. Spawn enemy, or is it spawn timer on wave timer timeout? Wave number plus equals 1. On wave number update wave number. Get tree create timer time between waves. Start next wave. Start wave. Start next wave. Spawn speed equals max. Spawn speed divided by the number. So this is also like kind of insane because it just gets like really, really quick to the point where it's spawning like a zombie every like 0.1 seconds, which is just not manageable, right? So what we need to do is we probably need to do the same thing where we increase it by a percentage rather than this crazy amount here. So we want it to get smaller. We could just go, we could subtract the spawn speed divided by those, get smaller and smaller every time. We want it to be like an increase. We can do the same thing, realistically. It's probably fine. So you've got a spawn speed, and then you can have a var base spawn speed. And it'll be a float, and in the ready, we'll just set that equal to spawn speed. Base spawn speed. And we'll set that equal to spawn speed. Okay, so now we have a starting point that we can actually correctly measure. So we can say spawn speed equals spawn speed minus spawn speed equals base spawn speed. And so this starts at 5. What are we doing here? We are sending the multiplier, we're dividing it by 10, and then we're multiplying it by that. So we can do the same thing. I don't know if it'll ever end up like 0 or negative. If we're only taking off 10% each time, it's not going to be that bad. But what are we sending to the spawn on update wave number? How are we doing that? Set stats. It's in here somewhere. When we spawn an enemy, we are calling set stats on the wave number. So it's just the wave number. So that's fine because that's the same thing here. So we can easily, I think, do the same exact math. So just divide that by, what is it? I can't remember anything. The wave number divided by 10. And instead of adding it, we'll subtract it. So wave number divided by 10 multiplied by base. So wrap in brackets here, multiplied by the number divided by 10. And that should be okay. I'd be curious to see what that actually calculates out at. This should be a lot more manageable. In the later stages, it was getting like really intense and it was too much. Like you just couldn't play it. There was just so many zombies. So they're so easy. We're gonna have to like deal with that at some point. Well, I mean, the numbers really amped it up. And I really got to address them spawning from the rooftop. I also want to like add in some more manageability. So we're down to 4.5 instead of 5 seconds. So that's I don't know how many extra zombies that will be each wave. I'm probably going to have to adjust the resources because right now it's like because you get so much ammo from these guys. It's like too easy. Okay, wave 2's ended. Down to 3.5 seconds. Too easy. Too easy. But it's only wave 2. And if I play around with the resources... Oh, there's ones behind me. Then I think it's going to be... Okay, so now we're doing every 2 seconds. Alrighty. Alright. Okay. Oh. Okay, wave 3 definitely feels a little bit more difficult. And these dudes that throw knives are like kind of the killers because you don't see them and they might just be throwing knives at you. Took damage. There's behind me. Okay, and now we're up to 0. So this is a problem. Will they not spawn at all? I'm going to have to... In fact, we might actually want to do spawn speed divided by 10. Rather than a base spawn speed because we don't want this to ever reach 0. So it's going to be like 10% each time. So we take off 10% each time rather than entering it to 0. And I'm going to make the wave time really short so we can see how that actually calculates out. Rather than playing through an entire thing until we realize we broke it because we weren't thinking. So then it goes to 3.6. I think this is better. I don't think it'll ever go down to 0. 2.52. And we can just adjust the percentage. Like if we feel like this is wave 4 and we're getting a zombie every 1.5 seconds. And now it's 0.07. And that's a lot of zombies. And they're moving fast because that percentage is probably too high. And now it's 0.3. But I don't think it's logarithmic, right? It never reaches 0. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to switch to the knife because it's an OP weapon. And now it's a lot. Wave 7's a lot. We need to adjust the percentage, but it's doing what I want it to do. Okay, 0.01. Okay, and we're lagging. How many did we get up to? Monitors. How many objects? 5,000. Okay, yeah, but look at that increase. That's a lot. Okay. Okay. Number divided by 10, number divided by 100. So it's a 1% increase. Is that too little? That's a factor. Yeah, that's too much. Let's just okay. Wave 7, when it starts, we just don't want it to lag. Or we could cap it off at some point. Like 0.3 or 0.2. But we do want to get through more waves before this becomes a problem. So I'm going to make it divided by 20 rather than that. And then we going to need to stick like a limit because it's like unmanageable at some point. So I probably don't want it to be more than 2 zombies per second. I feel like that's just going to be insane. And I don't have time to do the performance. Like maybe we could make the player powerful enough, but like it's a lot, right? So all right. Let's get amongst it. Okie dokie. So we do want this to be like the max. We still put like a lower figure of 0.5. And I really need this calculator a lot faster, so the wave is going to be 1 second. To be honest, I also want the time between waves to be really short so that I don't have to deal with waiting for that either. So I can just see how my math is looking. Okay. How long until it gets to 0.1? And then it's 0.5. So it's like 10 waves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 waves before it gets to 0.5. Let's up it. These boys are going to be strong. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's fine. And then it just hits a cap. And the boys just keep getting stronger though. So that's okay. I'm fine with that because at a certain point, you know, the zombies are going to be really strong. So that's totally fine. Okay. So now that we've dealt with that, let's just reset these numbers. Time between wave, 5 seconds for now. And the wave time, 30 seconds. Okay, so how do we want to handle upgrades? Pathak Arts on YouTube. All the best. Thank you, man. Okay, so right now the player, he has like a lot of stats, right? We could do multipliers, but realistically we want a screen to come up. Is it half prepared? Yeah, it's about halfway there. We just need to do upgrades and then level design, I guess. Maybe some UI, because the UI is just not there. So then sound. I don't have any sound. All right. Okay. So where are we at? We need to think about upgrades. We need a UI for upgrades, and it's probably going to need to... We're going to have to create them somewhere. We need an array, and it's going to be resources. It's always going to be resources. It's just where. So we've got the HUD. What does that display? It's just the wave label, and then the game over screen. So we can add to this. We can say we can create a controller just to hold it all, and this will just be upgrades, boys, upgrades. It'll be full rect, and I'm guessing like most games do it. They like have 3 things in the middle that you can choose from. I'm gonna need a lot of different power-ups. So we can do that with a HBox, right? It's pretty easy. We'll give it a full rect again. The alignment will be in the center, I guess. And we just add like 3 texture rect. We might need to put some kind of... Which type of game am I making? I'm making a wave style shooter. So picture like maybe what was that game that was really big? I want to say Left 4 Dead, right? With a touch of Vampire Survivor. Yeah, Left 4 Dead is sort of what I'm mimicking. It's probably the closest comparison I could think of. But then I also want it to be a little bit kind of like Vampire Survivor, where you get upgrades and experience and stuff like that. I don't know. I've actually never played it. I've just watched a bunch of videos on it. I think it's a good idea. So I need art. And there's probably not going to be anything in the asset pack, so I might have to go do this myself. UI, back by equip, no, play, shop, yes. And there's a bunch of explosions. I'm going to add those in a bit, but not right now. Okay, we got button template. Okay, we could work with this. It's a pop-up template. So, to be honest, yes. Yeah, we can work with that, because we can put that in the background. Do like a margin container. And then put the HBox inside of it. And we'll just full rack that again. And then the theme overrides constants. The top, we'll make it 20. The bottom, we'll make it 20. Hard to see. The HBox can say, oh, we need way more off. 300. 300. Too much. We'll get there eventually. Okay. And then we can put the text direct behind it. That's a text edit. We want a texture rect. It's got a pop-up template. Nice, nice. I like that a lot. And then in front of that, I'm going to do away with the texture rects and instead use color rects. That's not what they're called anymore. I've just spelled it wrong. Color rect. My nose is really itchy. And we want 3 of them. We want it to expand. Man, margin containers always kind of puzzle me a little bit. I guess I need to set the size of this. And it's behind it, so put that there. Why are you so big? I need to enable all 3 and then do separation. That's what I need to do. Transform, container sizing, expand. Obviously, it's not going to look like anything yet. I probably need to put another margin container inside of it as well. We'll see how we need to set this up. Hey, Kitcorn, how are ya? Container sizing, expand, and then on the HBox, We'll do a little bit of a separation. Like so. Probably 150, I guess. We'll just go with that. And then we just need to shrink it down a bit. And put some margins on it as well. So I guess I'm going to need to nest this inside another margin container. Love them. Love margin containers. And on this one, the theme override, constants, margins, top. Woo! A little bit down, a little bit on the bottom, and a little bit on the left. And a little bit on the right. Okay, that looks kind of like a thing that you would click, right? Awesome. And each of these need to be probably a container node. Yeah, probably a container node. What does it need? The node itself contains no purpose under strict configures its children placement behavior. Okay, maybe not. Delete. Panel container. I might not even need the racks. I might just need panels because they in themselves have backgrounds. And we're back to the start. Layout, container sizing, expand. Yeah, see how they do that? That's nice. Container sizing. I wish it was the default, to be honest. Layout, container sizing, expand. And then, these are really nice. Maybe I should like configure them each. Oh, I can save the styles, the panel. It's a flat. And then we can just make the color white, right? And it's done. Like so. And then duplicate all. Okay. And within this, we're going to need another margin container. And it will be the full expanse. And it's going to have texture and a label. All right. Power up one. And display text, yada, yada, yada. Theme overrides, colors, font color black. And it'll be center. Okay. And the text direct. What am I going to display in these? It's just going to be like random crap, right? I think at the end of the day. Like, I don't want to spend too much time creating custom art for a game jam. Especially when you're meant to just like use it. So, yeah, we'll have to work on that, but we just need a placeholder. There's a drone. Let's just put that in. And we're going to have to put that in another panel so it's like clearly visible. And this really should be inside a VBox so that they arrange themselves properly. Right. Fit width, fit height. There we go. Okay, power up one. And that's what it's going to look like. Happy? I'm happy with that. Duplicate. Nope. I have to duplicate the panel. Okay. So this is our power up. And we're going to need a very complicated script. So this will be P1 icon. This will be P1 logo. P1 logo. P2 icon. P2 I just said logo, I mean label. Okay. Last one. Can I just copy? I'm getting impatient. I want to write the code. Okay, icon, label, icon, label. And we'll make these access as unique names so that we can actually get access to them easily. And if I change the layout, it's not going to break everything. Okay, access as unique name. P2 icon is already in use because I forgot to actually change the number. It should be P3. P3. Okay, make access as unique name. Access as unique name. Alrighty. Okay, should I give these like P1, P2? It doesn't matter too much. I don't think I'm gonna. P3. Background. That probably won't change. And then, do we want to do an animation? This is going to pop up, right, when you finish a wave or when you gather enough resources. I actually haven't decided how it's going to work yet. But we can add an animation player. Let's see what we can do. Oh, not an animation tree. Alrighty. So, what do we think? Do we want it to just like expand? Something like that? Show upgrade box. Okay, so what if we keyed the margins? Right, this is the end point. But what if the start point was like something like this? We made them both like, we made them squish. It just pushes it up. So those don't do anything that I want them to. I want it to squish. I probably, if I want to do that, I can create a some kind of alpha shader. That's too hard. I don't want to do that. So instead, let's just have it slide down. Oh, we can have it fade in, to be honest. That's fine, right? Fade in, show behind parent, top level, clip children, light mask, visible, ordering, texture, inherent, yada, material. No, I don't want to do any kind of reveal. It's too hard. Yeah, let's just modulate the visibility. So it starts off alpha, create, and then it will just fade in. Do that. Right, that's fine. How long is this animation? 0.2. We should play a sound as well. Audio stream player. Have they got sounds? Sounds. Circus lose, bonus. Not bad. Bit long. A little bit basic. Scary laughter. Zombie movement, zombie roar. Okay, let's go with coin. Right. Okay, volume dB, blah, blah, blah. I haven't set up my audio yet, so I will add a bus for effects. And we will put this on the effects bus. And we will literally just key the playing. Great. And so it'll play that. Everything else is fine. Volume's fine. And so that'll just play the coin sound. What does it sound like again? Yeah, it's fine. Good enough, I reckon. We don't need to get too complicated. We can replace it later if we want. Let's just get the structure going. Okay, so now let's code in the interaction. World, menus, upgrades, create. So obviously we don't want this to control the upgrades. It'll probably be some kind of resource that does that. So we will need to probably just code in the choices. I also forgot in the UI, we're going to need to add like a selection highlighter. Can we bring this back? We need something that will change for these. Probably we can just change the background color. Oh, it changes on all of them. I need to make it unique. Theme overrides. This should just change on 2 of them now. Make unique. Theme overrides. Make unique. So now we can change their color, right? So we can just make it like a darker shade, right? That's probably fine. Or we could add a border. Yeah. So if it's selected, the border is there, and then we just have to make it alpha. Go to P2, Starbucks flat, 10, 10, 10, 10. Border, and then alpha it out. Okay. And now we just have to get to that every time we want to get... we want to like notify them that they've selected it, but we'll work on that. P1. Border width. 10, 10, 10, 10. Border, color, alpha. Okay, great. Upgrades. Bring in all of these. That's not what I wanted. That's a bit better. Okay, so... Hey, Noko75, thank you so much for the follow. We don't need process either. So, now what we want to do, let's, before we worry about actually giving the player upgrades, let's just worry about actually interacting with these. So what we can do is, we've got a mouse entered, and I want to make sure that that's, you know, interactable. And I probably need to, do I need a button? I don't think I need a button. Do I have a click? GUI input event? I probably want to connect that. So, var. Just go like on ready. Or I just need a variable called P power boxes. Hey, Dashizi, how are ya? Power up boxes. I'll get good at naming variables one day. And it's an array. And then in the ready function, we will just add all of the power boxes dot append p1. There's got to be a better way to do this, actually. I probably need to do some research. Could I probably just go equals p1, p2? Right? Is that going to work? it doesn't have anything yet. But what if I made it on ready? Can I cheat the system? Yeah, that works. Panel box, panel box. Yeah, cool, great. Okay, so now we have an array and we want to connect up a bunch of signals. So, funk, on power up, chosen, picked, and it's going to take a input, right? Input event. It returns void. And for now, we will just say print input event. Right, and so we can say for p in power up boxes, p dot GUI input dot connect on power up picked. Right. Okay, well, we are going crazy. What? It works. If input event is equal to mouse input event dot is action. How do I've forgotten. In the weapon manager, I do the exact same thing. So let's check there. If action pressed, shoot. Well, it's the same action. It's left mouse click. So I could test for that. Right. Okay, expected if. Okay, right. My bad. Thanks. Okay. Nice. And rather than testing for shoot, because that's kind of confusing, we can just go if input is equal to input a mouse input event. Why am I so bad at typing? Mouse button and actually, do I have to test this afterwards? Because I need to make sure that it is a... I don't like this. But why do I feel like it's going to be better? Dot button index? Right? I can just query for that. Is equal to 1. No, it's not making it through. All right. Input event mouse button. Am I just a silly Billy? The mouse button identifier of the mouse button. What if I'm just testing if it's equal to an input event mouse button? Not good enough. is, yeah. Input event dot button index is equal to 1, then print clicked. But this actually is not right. So it's fine, but I was actually kind of hoping that that would happen mouse entered, you know? Emitted when the mouse cursor enters the control or any of these. Do these actually need to be button? It would be way easier, right? Way easier. I don't know why I didn't think of that. There's like texture buttons, right? Ah, don't you hate that? Just like spend half an hour doing something, you realize that it really should be a button. Change type. Maybe within this, here, this should be a change type, and there is like literally a texture button. There is a thing for what I'm looking for, and it's going to have all the things that I want. Sometimes it'd be like that. I probably don't even need to put it inside a panel because the texture button probably does everything for me. Hang on a second. Give me like literally everything. How do I give it a texture? Theme? Input? Button mask? Yeah, cool, great. Texture. It's not quite what I'm looking for. Right? Keep height. But what about if I just make this change type? That's still a margin container? Okay, what if I just make a button, texture button within this that covers the whole thing? Can I cheat it like that? Is that going to work? So I can just cheat and then get the button pressed and connect that to the, oh, so much stuff in the scene. The upgrades, right? On texture button, print clicked. Right, let's comment this out for a second because it's not helpful. And then I also, by default, it's hidden because of the animation player. It's reset, which, to be fair, we do want. But for now, let's just bring it back in so it's very visible. And I'm pretty sure, can I release the mouse? Is that getting clicked? It's not. Okay. Dashizi broke Godot. How'd you do that, bro? How'd you break Godot? What'd you do? Okay. How are we going to get around this? This texture button stuff don't work. I can't even see it. textures. Just give me a gradient. I want to see it. I want to see the button. Yes, it's very small. It's not. It's changing all of that, but yes. The layout, transform, sizing, fill. Why can't I see you? Where are you? It's so small. Scale. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So now I should be able to trigger it. Yeah, great. Thank you. Make it see-through. Did I stuff this up? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, great. Okay. Why was that so difficult? Structure. P1 button. Duplicate. P2 button. Duplicate. P3 button. Okay, now we're cooking. It says import script inside is not working. Oh, that happens, yeah. So have you tried deleting your .input? So if you like open in File Manager and if you go to the top of your project, you remove the .import, I don't know. Or maybe you can download like a different copy of like another version of Godot. I'm not too sure about that. You encounter problems from time to time with the import process, but generally I just delete it all and start again and it'll work eventually. I've come up with a couple of random issues that I've never been able to overcome, but you know, it happens. Okay. All right. So now we've got buttons. And are we going to be able to tell what button is what? What we can do is we can access as unique names again. And we can access as unique names. Let's disconnect the pressed signal. Disconnect. Right. And upgrades. Okay, so we still need to know about that and power up buttons. Right, and this is really wide. Let's make that narrower. We're going to grab every single one of these and then drag in all of that. And then we can just replace those with these. Easy peasy. And now we're going to go for P and power up buttons, and then P on texture button pressed dot connect. Is that the right signal? For P dot, it's just pressed dot connect. and I'm surprised that we don't get the information of like what button's been pressed. That is curious. I wonder if I could. No, I probably can't. But we can have like mouse entered, right? Like we can know when the mouse is entering. It still doesn't tell us what one it's going to be, which is kind of annoying. So it's probably easier if I just connect up 3 different scripts, 3 different signals. So then I just know without having to try so hard. So we're just going to cancel being a try hard and do it the simple, easy way because we know it's going to work. I'll still keep the array around just in case. So we just connect this up individually. Find node upgrades. Connect. Pressed. Upgrades. Pressed. Upgrades. Okay. Now I will know which one's being pressed. So get rid of all this extra white space. Okay. So at some point we'll need to communicate that information. What I do want to do is have a function. Am I going to have to do like individual signals for all of these? Because there's no way for me to know mouse focus that doesn't pass in any information about what's actually over it. So which is kind of annoying. I know that there's ways around it. Like we could get the index, like if we had them in like an array, but I'm not in the mood for it. So we're just going to do it by connecting up the individual signals. Mouse entered and mouse exited. So annoying. We're going to have to create like functions to actually do the work for us so that we don't have to write out the script a bunch of times. Mouse entered. Okay. And I don't think I'll need a mouse exited because I can just turn them all off. I don't need to. Fuck it. I'll do them all. It's going to take me all night just to do the UI. Okay. Now let's actually write the functions that we want to call. So the function will be highlight button, and it's going to take a container. Is that what this is called? A panel container, right? P container, which will be a panel, and it will return void. Okay, and we know that it has a border, and we can get to that, right? Border color, styles. How do we get to that? It's under theme overrides. Add theme font. Is there like a get has theme color override? Okay, there is like functions for this. Has theme panel. Starbucks override. Too few arguments. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, no. How am I going to get to this? I've never had to get to it before. It's a control. Theme type variation. Get theme. The theme resources node has and all of its controller window use. If a child has its own theme resource set, theme items are merged with the child's definitions and have a higher priority. So it's probably going to be in this. We'll give it a go. Huh. More work than I was expecting. Get theme. Theme. It's a theme. Can I type it so that I know? Right, cool. Panel? How do I get to the panel? Get Starbucks? It needs it. It has a name. Get Starbucks list. Oh, so frustrating. Let's see if we actually get anything out of it. Print get Starbucks list. This is really experimental of me. This is not a good idea. This is a function. Call the function. Okay, too few arguments. Expected at least one. Theme type. Huh? Returns a list of defined with the theme type. Type list. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to use this function. Theme type names. Jeez. I thought this would be a simple way to like put a highlight over something, but I guess I was wrong. I'm not calling that function in anything. So highlight button. Let's just chuck it in all of these. And this is going to be the power up boxes. Power up boxes -2. And 0. Pressed. Or null value. Oh, so it doesn't even have a theme. Okay. So how do I get to the overrides? Does anyone know? Theme overrides. Let's go back to the controls. I don't know. And it's annoying me. $110 matches. Add theme star override. Add theme font override. Theme type variation. The name of the button for the button control. Get. I guess it's going to be this function here. And it's not going to be a theme. I actually don't know what it's going to be. So let's just get that. Get theme type variation. It's not returning anything. It's not being called? No, it is being called. Boys, we got a problem. We're going to need to bail out because this is not working. It'd be way easier just to sit like a box behind it and like make it visible, you know, like straight up, you know, okay, this is a nice idea, but we just put like a color texture. it goes behind, right? We make it black. Hello. It should not be drawn on the top. Huh. Where's the white? Oh, it's part of that. Twitch scam, you followed me. Ew. Ew. Gross. Hee. Okay. The panel is actually a part of the color. So realistically, this is kind of scuffed. This needs to be set as like a clear color. And we make this a star box empty. We put the color rect in full rect. We make this one white. And then we duplicate it, stick it below, and we will change its size. This one's black, so we can actually see. Pivot offset. We'll probably just scale it down. Nope. I got an idea. Skybox flat. Ah, no, I'm an idiot. That's not going to work. Or is it? 10, 10, 10, 10. No, of course. Why would it work? I'm something. I'm on the wrong thing. If we change the pivot offset or the anchor, can we make the anchor in the center but like the stretch full? How does this work? Anchors, position, anchors. And then you go custom. Yeah, okay. And then we just go 0.1. 0.1, 0.1. This is too much. 0.9. 0.9. But instead of 0.1, it's 0.05. 0.95. 0.95. It's not the best, but it works. And now I should be able to actually tell. And I can just turn that off. Right? Much easier. Okay, good. We're gonna have to, we can duplicate the color rect and drop it in the P1 and P2. We're gonna have to change the structure. Copy. Paste. And give this a style box empty. Right. Paste. Okay, great. Why did I have to like reinvent the wheel? What is wrong with me? Stop box empty. Okay, here we go. We're rolling. And now I just need to go highlight rect. Do I give them unique names or just make them like the same every time? And then maybe it's not so bad to pull it up. I've got an array of icons and I've got an array of buttons. Okay, well, we'll work on this. Highlight rect. Highlight rect. Not that one, this one. Okay, so now we've got, right, so we don't even have, we've got the buttons and we've got P1, P2, P3, right? So now we can say, for highlight, highlight, color, and we can say it's going to be p container dot get child it's actually the first one in the list, so I could just go 0. It's the same for everything, single one, and then highlight color dot visible equals true. Okay, so we're probably stuffing up a bit here. We are not looking at this. The first one worked okay. P1 got to 0, P2 went to 1 and 2. So P2, P1, P2, P3. Are they in the right order? I'm assuming they are. So that would be 0, 1, 2. P2 button pressed. Unless it's named incorrectly inside the P2 button. Captain Coda, how are you? So where can I find? Why is that? That's a silly bug. I feel like I've named these correctly. Obviously not, because I'm clicking this one and that one's changing color. So that's a bit of a silly one. I'm doing okay. A bit of a Sunday night coding session. Trying to get this UI working so I can actually give myself some upgrades while I play my game. Well, while other people play my game. But the power up buttons. It really just needs to be something to do with me not realizing that I'm passing in the wrong container. You could get the signal to pass an integer 0, 1 or 2, so you only need one function to connect. Could I though? I actually don't know with Godot if you can connect. See, these are all default signals, and the signals don't carry any kind of index. So would I have to override the signal? I do that in the ready function, right? Like connect. It doesn't matter now because I've set it all up, so I can just roll with it. Is that how it works though? We just go in the advanced check. Oh, the advanced checkbox. Thank you. I always forget about the advanced checkbox. Int, and then you add, and then you bind an argument like 0. Very interesting. Okay. But if you can do this in the UI, surely you can do this in the via code, right? So I could loop through the array of boxes, power up boxes, Jesus, for P in. You can't use it to pass a reference to itself. Yeah, it's super annoying. Well, I mean, I'm kind of just doing the same thing manually, right? Like, that's fine. I don't mind just getting a 1, 2, or 3. But surely if you went p dot mouse entered dot connect, if that's allowed, should you not be able to connect a function like highlight this and then bind self? No, not self. P. Is that going to work? Or no? Let's try with the buttons. It's probably easier. Or, it should just... It did something. Yeah, it's printing out the highlight rec. That seems right. It did something. It just didn't do it quite right because I'm not hiding them either. So I also need to create a function to like unhighlight the one that I've got over. So like this UI is kind of cursed at this point because like the whole thing, I could just use a button and it has like a highlight focus, you know. You could just do that and it would have been fine. Like people would have understood, but I wanted to do the label highlighting. So now we know we can actually bind anything to a base signal connection. Let's just take this whole thing. And we're going to get the child and set visible to false. My only assumption here is that I'm assuming that the highlight is in the first, it's the very first one, right? Okay, and we can connect that signal p.mouse exited. Let's just copy this whole lot and unhighlight. It's not that good. Is it the mouse just not? When is this? This is emitted when the mouse cursor enters the control or any of the child control's visible area that is not occluded behind other mouse controls, provided its mouse filter is less. So could it be the structure? Because sometimes these things don't pass themselves through very well. Could be something like that. I don't know. I'm ready to abandon. Just delete all this. We don't need any of this stuff. The stuff blocking the mouse is the bane. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know why they, I don't know, something weird with it. It just never seems to work the way you expect it to. You add something, it's blocked. Like, is the background texture, you wouldn't expect it to. You think things in front would block it. I don't know, honestly. Just delete that and delete that because I don't want it anymore. I'm going to have to unconnect these signals, disconnect, because we figured out we can do it via code. Disconnect, that's much neater. Thank you so much for recommending that. But we still have the same issue. It's just much neater. But I was kind of hoping that maybe it works for that one. That works great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But not for these two. For P and power up boxes, P1, P2, P3. I don't understand. Is it just because colorect print .name? Is it like the binding gets stuffed up? Is that something that can happen? I don't know. I don't understand, and sometimes there's just one way to find out. That signal's not getting cold. That signal's not getting cold. This one is. So is it just that P1, P2, okay, so they're all getting connected. I am confused. What is different about the other two that for some reason don't work? So close. I'm so close. Force pass on scroll event. Yeah, well, they're not set up any different. It's got a star box empty. And it has no other theme. It has no other changes. So if I container sizing is set to expand. It's got a star box empty. Star box empty. It's like I can't even tell the difference between them. Oh, goodness. Is there anything sitting on top and eating that mouse input? Like a hidden control over some of the screen? It's hard to say. The HUD, how does that take it? What does that take up? The HUD takes up everything. It really should pass it on. I mean, it's like the classic, right? But it's taking up the whole thing. Like, why would it? It really just has that on it. And then the rest of the stuff is on the player, which technically sits in front, right? This canvas layer for the player, let's just turn it off and see if anything changes. Classic. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, eh? It makes sense because, like, the margin container? No. The background? How could it? And it really should be the other way around. Like, I'm pretty sure the things on the bottom pick up the inputs first. Or input goes top to bottom, though, doesn't it? So backwards. Well, okay, let's just go. This doesn't even need mouse input. Like filter, it needs to be the control will receive inputs and mouse inputs. If clicked through GUI input and these events are automatically marked as handled and they will not propagate further. The HUD doesn't need input, right? So we can just ignore, right? The control will not receive mouse movement input events and mouse button input events. If clicked through GUI input, the control will not receive mouse entered nor exit signals, nor will block other controls from receiving these events or firing signals, right? So that's good. Game over. This does require it. But it's not visible, so it shouldn't really pick them up. I'm pretty sure that's how that works, right? The other thing that we can test, I mean, I would expect it to be function clicked, power up clicked, and it's also going to take a container, I guess. Well, actually, not even that, because I can just pass on the button, right? And then I'll know. Well, I don't even, yeah, it's fine, right? Power up clicked, print clicked. Because if I go into these buttons as well for P in power up buttons, and I go p.connect, I'm still, it's been like literally a year and a half since Godot 4 came out, and I'm still doing the old way. Press .connect, and we pass in power up clicked. Right. It's picking up. It's picking up. So the clicked works. It's getting through. Interesting. Very interesting. Dot bind P. Okay. P dot name plus clicked. And I also want to ditch these because it's kind of annoying. Oh, hang on a second, it's not happy. Panel button. And it's a texture button, right? Unable to write a file. Is in use or blocked or lacking permissions. That's a first. Hello? Stop that. It must relate. P not declared. There we go. I can code. That one doesn't work. Okay. It's got to do with the actual rect itself, the highlight rect, right? It's got to be. It's this. It's the highlight rect because it becomes visible. It's so strange. So we got and P1. Let's run that again. P1 clicked. P3 clicked. That's weird. These are in the wrong order, number one. And that one just doesn't work because of the these don't need mouse input, right? I'm not actually testing the highlight rect. I guess it's like the black rect that's blocking it. No, yeah, it's got to be. Yeah. It has to be something to do with that because at this point, it's only working for that one. So I can just put for mouse on that. Like we don't care about it. We just want it to show up. It doesn't matter. And these are back to front. I'll work on that in a second. I don't know why. So mouse, it's got to be ignore. I probably need to change everything on these to just ignore if I don't want it to be interacting with it. But we'll start with this. That one doesn't. What is it? What's on it that does this? Is it the margin container? Is it the, like, I don't know. Anyway, let's just mark them all as ignore. We'll like just keep going through them. Ignore, ignore. And we don't even care about you. Or maybe we do, because this has actually got the button in it. So that doesn't actually work for us. Is it a structure thing? These ones have the button nested, and this one doesn't. That's it. That's the difference. Right? No? Yes. Margin container? Yes. Needs to look like this. I'm getting cross-eyed. Right? That was it. Now it's going to work. I think you can select multiple things with the same properties and change them all at once. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Check this. It's going to work now. God damn it. Clicked. Clicked. Not working. God damn. I honestly thought that was it. Oh, wait. I should test that. Oh, yeah. Look at that. They're all set to ignore. Oh, wait. No, that didn't work. What? Also, it's kind of annoying me that for whatever reason, these aren't like coming out correctly. Why is the middle one P2? P3? Like, what's going on there? This UI is cursed. I might just delete it and do something simpler. I've already wasted like an hour on this. P3 button clicked. And not detected. Look at that. Look at that. This is what it is. Okay. Okay. I see now. I see it. The P3 button is cooked. And now none of them will work, but the buttons will. And we can work on that because we can just use the button to figure out which one the mouse is over, right? That, geez, what a rabbit hole. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the hover's not working, but that's fine because we can just, instead of testing that, we can test the button, and then we can use the button to figure out everything. Holy crap. Yeah, the button is eating the mouse input. I guess even though it's lower in the mix, it seems to be taking that. I don't know. I'm not going to ponder on that too much because we can just do this and it's going to pass. It's not passing a panel anymore. It's passing a button, but I'll just get the parent, right? P container panel button dot get highlight. It's going to be get parent get child because I know where it is. Get parent get child. Cursed UI conquered. There we go. P3 clicked, P2, P1. Great. Oh my god. That was a mission. An absolute mission. Okay. But we did end up with like, I think pretty good code at the end of it. Like I like this, it's very simple. We figured out we could bind items to a regular signal and pass them through. So now that it's clicked, we can just, we know we can emit the index, I guess. Perhaps we could go something like, because we don't really care about itself. We don't need the button. We want to know the index so we can figure out which one's which. I'm going to have to work out how we actually communicate back to the game that we've chosen the particular power-up and which power-up it is. So rather than itself, I mean, even if we do send itself, we can go var item or power-up index equals power-up buttons dot find and then panel button, and it should just return the index, right? And just go str, because I haven't actually written any code for power-ups yet. Power-up clicked. Okay, power-up index clicked. And then I guess we don't need these anymore, right? Like, this is not used except for in the power-up boxes, but we can just yeet that too. These bits of code aren't in use, so let's get rid of them. And easy. Okay, nice and compact. Let's just do a quick little run test. So 1 clicked, 0 clicked, 2 clicked. We'll worry about a confirm later. Like, I probably want people to like actually confirm, and then potentially we can put a tooltip. It depends how complicated these power-ups are going to be. But now we need something to know that you've achieved a power-up. We need to tell it to be displayed, and we do it with a signal, probably from the game state manager. And then we need to choose a couple of power-ups. So we need to create power-ups and then send them to this UI to be displayed for the player to choose. It's all so easy, right? Like, it all makes sense in my head. Okay. So we'll need a copy of the animation player. Number 1. And let's go back to reset. This should be alpha. And to be honest, it should be not visible either. When ready, it's just not. If visible, then hide. It should never be shown when ready. Okay, and now we're back to normal. Okay, we can't see anything because the UIs are like gone. Let's turn it all back on. I should probably check that it still works. Game HUD. That's actually kind of funny now that I think about it. We did all this work and then I turned back on the UI and it stopped working. Whoops, the reset. No. Why aren't you visible? There we go. Yeah, she works. All right. We're in a working state now. All right. Great. Great. Okay, so now let's actually make an upgrade, or actually we have to make a transport system to actually tell the game that there's an upgrade. So it's got to be in the game state manager, because it's the one thing that knows what's going on or can be told what's going on. There's not a lot happening here right now, but we can easily create an upgrade unlocked, right? So we might need another singleton to keep track of all the upgrades. I don't know. I'm not quite sure like how in detail I want to go with this. It is just for a game jam, so we don't need to go crazy with it, but we do need a nice way of doing it so that we can create like a number of upgrades. And once this system is set up, we don't need to really worry about it. So it's easy enough to just emit a signal at this point. One upgrade unlocked. I don't know if I need to say anything, like pass on an int or whatever. I'm not too sure. And when we call that function, we will emit. So the player is going to have like experience, I guess. I guess. I don't actually know. So, who's responsible for keeping track of the experience? The ultimate question. I don't know. Also, I'm getting cut off. I should be sitting in frame. Classic. I don't know. Honestly. Do we create just a node on the player? The player is going to have to gather experience. It knows when it's killed something. Maybe once you do damage, we can emit to a singleton. So we can keep track of the player level. If we do that, then it's probably going to be a little bit easier for me to... I kind of want it to just be persistent. Like if you die, you don't have to start again. Sort of like you're stronger, so you're going to make it further, I guess. I don't know. Objects. Where's the game state manager? It's just here. Let's create a folder. Auto loads. Thanks. Put the game state manager in the auto loads. And I'm going to create a new scene. It's just a node 2D. Experience manager. I'll attach a script. That's fine. Let's just save that, and in the project settings, auto load, add one. Game state manager, experience manager, TSN. Okay, close. Now we're going to emit a signal, or we can just call it, so we can create a function called monster killed. It's going to take experience. Right, it's going to be a float. I've never made a system like this before, so it's going to be fun. That sounds like Christmas music. I don't know how much you guys can hear that, but whatever. Next. So we also need things like the level, like var player level. Starts off at 0. Experience required. Just make it 100. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And current experience. Float equal to int. It's obviously 0. And so when you kill a monster, we can add current experience plus equals experience. And then we do a check for level, check level up. We pass in the current experience. We create a function called check level up, and it's going to take experience as well. Basically all of that. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And so if experience is greater than or equal to experience required, then we can increase the level. Player level plus equals 1. Of course, we can't like gain enough experience to go up multiple levels, but you know, like it's not that kind of game, so let's not worry about it. And then I guess I should, depends how much experience we get from a monster kill. I guess, right? Like, I should probably work out what the difference is between the current experience, or the experience that we're passing in, because we're passing in experience here. Is if it's greater than or equal to the difference. So this is like var excess surplus. Living up to my accounting name. Equals experience required minus if it's greater than, we want it to be experience minus experience required. And then that's either going to be 0 or it's going to be greater than that. So we can add it back to the current experience. We can just make it equal to excess. Because in theory, it should also be able to equal 0. And I just want to print out that because I don't actually know. Current experience. Okay. And then we're going to have a couple of signals here. Put them at the top. Signal level up. On level up. So we can tell the UI what level we are. Level, which is an int. We'll just roll with that for now. We could probably create like some kind of bar to tell us. On level up dot emit player level. Right. So now we just need to get the UI. So let's go back to the UI, and in the HUD we can track our level. So in 2D, we've got a wave label, we've got a wave ends, and we can just add another label here, nice and basic. And it's going to be level, and I guess it starts at 0. It's going to start overriding the current weapon and stuff. Interesting. Add a script. I don't like that. Level label. So this will just be like a nice little label that will just keep track of our level at the moment, or tell us what level we are. We're going to borrow a little bit from this. It's going to be pretty similar. So I guess on the ready function, we'll connect to the on level up. Bracket level, and it's an int. Returns a void. And we get access. Oh, I guess we can just say set text because we are ourselves, so we don't need to worry about that. Set text level that plus str level. Really simple. And on the ready, we can go level manager. What's it called? Experience manager. Jesus. On level up. Is that the name of the signal? I don't know. It's not underscored. Huh. Dot connect and okay. So then in the enemy, when they die, they can make a call to this monster kill. So how much experience a monster gives is going to be directly related to their damage, I think, or something like that. Their power level. And I don't think it's going to get over 9,000. Okay, so experience. I guess I can, so I've got health. This isn't the player, this is not the enemy. Enemy number 2. Okay, so then we can have an export variable for experience to give. Can be a float. I guess, how many do we want to kill? So you need 100 to get up a level. I don't even know how many we're spawning per round. I think the base is 5, right? Every 5 seconds. So on the very first wave, we're doing a zombie every 5 seconds, and it's 30 seconds. So how many is that? Like 5 zombies? I'm mathing. It's 6 zombies, right? You better watch out. I'm mathing over here. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Hello, numpad. This thing never works. It's Epomaker. It's okay. It's out of batteries. It's always out of batteries. I mean, I guess it is kind of small. It's still not working. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're back. 30 divided by 5 is indeed 6, like I thought. Good Lord. Okay, so we're going to do 6 zombies. We're doing 6 zombies in the first wave, and we want that to at least give them 1 power up. Maybe even 2. Since this is a game jam, people aren't going to be playing it for long, in theory. So, what's 100 divided by 6? Oh, sorry, 100 divided by 5. It's 20. They're going to give 20 experience. And I'm doing 25. Oh, let's be generous. 25's fine. And then we're going to have a base experience as well. And so we can just like add the same multipliers to the experience as well. So as time goes on, they get more, right? So that makes sense to me, at least. Base XP equals experience, right? And then in the set stats, experience is going to be equal to, why'd I capitalize that? What's wrong with me? The variable naming is off. Plus base XP multiplied by the scale underscore scale. Right, so it's the exact same thing, more experience, yada yada yada. Okay, and when they die, right, we're going to call this zombie death, and we're going to go experience manager dot monster kill, and then we're going to pass in the experience. Okay, so the experience manager now knows what the heck when there's been a kill, and we're going to check our level, we're going to print it out, yada yada yada. Okay, so theoretically now we should be able to increase our level, and then we can worry about passing out the upgrades. Where are the zombies? Gimme, gimme, gimme. 2. I'm at 50. 3. 4. Okay, level 1. We should probably start at level 1. And it gave us an extra 7.5 experience. So that's sort of working how I want it to. Okay, I'm happy with all of this. Where's all the zombies? Oh, I'm in between waves. I slowed it down. We're going to have to make it more narrow. The level is... Oh, shit, he's right on me. It's just a little bit too easy to see him coming, you know? Okay, we're on level 3. So by wave 2, we're going to be on level 3. Is that a bit too much? I don't know. It's probably okay. Depends how strong I make the zombies. We're on level 4. We're going to have 4 upgrades. I'm just trying to work out... it's probably a bit too much. Because, like, obviously, the more upgrades we do, we're going to have to do percentage-based ones at the end of the day. So that I don't have to create so many. So like damage X. Why aren't you dying? If that makes sense. Let's switch to the knife because we know it's really powerful. So we can just start like cleaving up. These guys are about the only threat. So level 7. What wave? I can't read it. I think it's on wave 3. I'm going to have to fix up the UI. Too easy. I think everything's working how I want it to. It's just the scaling that I've got to get right. Oh shit, they're right on me. This guy's the real threat. Oh boy. Don't stand still. It's the enemy. You're still not dead. There's health everywhere. I don't have to die. There's so many red dots around. I need to fix that at some point. Level 11, wave 5. Health drop guaranteed? Yes, it is. I have to work on that too. There's no randomization. You will always get health, and it's always like 25. So it's 25 health every time you kill a zombie, and you will also get ammo for the weapon you're using. Unless you're using the knife, then you won't get any ammo because it doesn't take ammo. Well, hey, buddy. So there's a couple of things where it's just a little bit too easy. But we can fix that with scaling. Like before, there's like a lot of zombies. So we're on wave 6, we're level 16. So I think it's probably too easy. We either need to make the zombies faster, stronger, change the level, all that kind of stuff. Because you can just basically, I think you could do this forever. And I'm also level 20, which is a lot of different kind of upgrades. I'm going to have to just do percentages, I think. CBD Fuba. I hope you're having a great weekend. Oh, yeah, I am. It's been going good. I fixed up my home lab. It was a mess. And I repaired... Well, no, I didn't repair. I put 2 new shelves up so that my NAS sits on top of the shelf rather than just like on the ground. Okay, back off. And it's only, whatever this is, wave 7, where it becomes like really unmanageable. And the knife is really OP. So like if the knife to switch to pixelated textures instead of a shader, they are actually pixelated. It's just they're more pixelated because of the shader. Okay, there's a dude behind me. So it's really wave 8, I think I'm at. Where it starts to become really, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Just walk through the massive field of health. Yeah, okay, so obviously too much health and the knife is too good. Okay, but everything works pretty much how I want it to. I think shader not that great look with LOD on far distance objects. It's kind of meant to be like that, but here I'll show you what it looks like without it, which is very clear. Sub viewport container. It's meant to look like Doom, the original Doom. This is probably what you want it to look like, which is like pixeled, but clear, which is a different style again. But yeah, I guess it's all just debug, hit debug. Let's make this disappear. It's driving me crazy. Okay. So now we're leveling up. I do think we're leveling up too quickly. So let's just tone that down a bit. The enemies give 25 as a base. That's too generous. Make it 10. You have to kill to reduce the effect on distant objects. It's not possible because the way it's working right now, CPT Fuba, is that it's just a sub viewport container with the stretch. So basically I'm just reducing the resolution. That's all I'm doing. So there's no special effect. So I think it's like 1/4 of whatever the default is. So it's pretty small res. I was thinking that I probably need to make it like a multiple of the actual weapon pixels. So I think they're 128 by 128, which means I would need to make it some kind of multiple of that. I don't know. I have to think about it. It's later down the track. That's a problem for future me at the end of this week. Right now, we've got an experience manager to work on. Okay, so we can level up now. Let's create some power-ups. So the easiest thing for me to do is just say weapon damage, ammo capacity. I need to make a list. Put my ideas on paper so I don't forget them. I apologize in advance for the white for spreadsheets. I don't know how to change it. Options? View? Appearance? Dark? Apply? Doesn't change anything. I guess it's always just going to be white. Fire rate? Yeah, stuff like that. Fire rate's a little bit more difficult. You have zombies with armor. No, the zombies don't have any kind of armor. Hi, it's Pink06. I'm good. How are you? The zombies don't have armor, but their health increases. One of the other ideas I have for like a really good one, we can't see the chat anymore. What's happened? For a good one is, so obvious ones, forcing to be accurate or piercing rounds. Accuracy does matter a lot. The weapons have like crazy spray. Not that you can really tell. So obviously we want weapon damage is one that we can just do. We can just go like plus whatever weapon damage, like current weapon damage, like plus whatever, 2, plus 5. CPT Fubar, thank you for the follow. You've been very helpful. So obviously weapon damage. Reload speed's like baked into the animation, so I can't really, oh, maybe I could mess with it. We'll see. Reload speed. Who knows what number, doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter right now. So we've got damage, we've got speed. Obviously movement, things like movement speed, like run speed can be increased. And what else? I feel like there's so many that I could do. Hang on, let's just have a look at some of the variables that are exposed. So the player has so many. Obviously, I don't even know if I'm going to enable crouch. Like, you can crouch, but like it's not that kind of game. Sprint cooldown, all this kind of stuff. This is going to be important because it's zombies. You're trying to get away from them. The replenish rate. So all of these variables we could increase the value of. So the sprint cooldown, it's really sprint recovery time. Well, that's the replenish rate. That's the recovery. We'll focus on that one. It's probably more interesting. So while I'm here, I might actually copy these variable names so I know what they're called. I think movement speed's a little bit harder for me to manipulate. Food or health, Bioshock style. Well, I think the deadline's next week, so if I keep going with it, I'll probably do something like that because that's more interesting than just giving it to people. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good point. I would like to do something like that, but I might not make it. So jump distance, I think, is the main. Yeah, it's a 2-week jam, but it's been going for a week. So I'm doing the Zombeez Game Jam by Fan Studio. Fan Studio asked me to participate. If you guys want to, you can too. There's still 7 days and 9 hours, and all you got to do is use the asset pack that they provide, and you could win $500. And the winning entry, they're gonna talk to about publishing the game. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, all you have to do, you can make any kind of game you want. But it's like the asset pack is really about zombies and shooting them. So pretty nice little game jam. So sprint replenish rate, jump distance, I think is the main thing that controls the speed. Let me just have a look for a second. Calculate movement. Speed is a factor of jump distance divided by peak time, fall time. So if you were to move further, then you would need to move faster. Move speed. Love that one. So jump distance is actually the variable I'm going to have to change if I make that an upgradable. Sprint speed's a lot easier because we just multiply that regular. Reload speed. That's going to be an animation thing. I don't even know if that's possible. Weapon damage. Same with fire rate. I think it is linked to the animation. I have a version of this where it's not, but it's kind of really old. Well, the version of the FPS shooter that I'm building off of. So fire rate might not be possible. Aware of the curve resource in Godot? Yeah, I've used it a bunch of times. In regards to what though? Like the improvements that I can make? It's not a bad point. Providing speed could return interpolated point. Yeah, maybe. I've got like my, for the jump distance. Well, how it works is it's just a physics equation. So speed equals distance over time, right? And so jump distance is the distance that we're measuring. And then obviously this is the speed of your jump. So peak time and fall time. So the amount of time that you can spend, the amount of time it takes to clear a jump, it's not really made for this kind of game. But like if we wanted to put like jumping in it, if we wanted the player to be able to jump like a 4-meter gap, we could define it, and then the speed would be automatically adjusted for that. So that's how I've got my speed set up. I'm not really going to change it, but in order to make the player run faster, I increase the jump distance. So if I make that like 7, he should just fly real quick. He's a speedy boy now. And then sprint is just a multiplier. So it's just like you're going to go a little faster. So things to remember if I'm going to manipulate that variable is I'm going to have to call that function to recalculate the movement parameters. Fun times. That's okay. Alrighty. So yeah, fire rate, maybe. Weapon damage is super easy. Let's have a look at the weapon resource. There's a bunch of variables there that we can affect. Where are you? Oh my god, too much stuff. Weapon resource. Okay. Oh, you know what? Okay, there's something that I forgot that I really wanted to improve that I'm going to do here. Right now, like the way that I set up this weapon resource system, this weapon management system, is that the weapons have like a maximum amount of ammo that they can carry. And like low key, it's kind of a problem for this kind of style game. We don't want there to be a limit, right? And I think if I make that 0, it's automatically going to just, if I remember my code correctly, I can just make that 0 and it will, in theory, it should be infinite then. Let's check. The max ammo. Damage 25, melee damage 1. That's so low. It should be at least the same as a bullet. Maybe even higher. Let's just kill this dude and see if I can take his ammo. Oh, it just goes to 0. Okay, so I don't know my code that well. I might just need to make this 999. Okay, we'll just go the opposite route and just make it really big. Rip. And so now we don't have a limit of 60. We can just climb up infinitely until we get... I don't think anyone's going to get 999 ammo. But we can get a lot more ammo, which is going to be like way more helpful. All right, buddy. Gravity on the zombies ain't that great. Something for later if we get time. We might just have to deal with it, given the time constraints. There's a lot of other things that I want to do. Okay, so wave 1, you're still going to get a level in the first wave. Maybe even 2. Hello. His collision box is wanky. Okay, so we're on the second wave. We're still on level 1. That's fine. That's good. I'm happy with that. Ammo feels good. Happy days. Okay, everything's progressing nicely. Now let's create a resource to pass around. It'll need to be an upgrade resource. So, objects, create a folder, upgrades, create new script, and it's going to be called upgrade resource, and it's going to inherit from resource. Create. And we'll give it a class name. It can just be called upgrade resource. Okay. So obviously it's going to need a name. It's just going to be a string. It's going to need a dictionary for the variable to upgrade, because we're going to need to map this to variables within the player. So in order to do that, we are going to need to have a dictionary with the string and then the number. Or I mean, it doesn't have to be, because I'm going to, yeah, realistically, I can just go variable name, a variable name, an enum. Why an enum? I'm going to need to know the actual string name of the variable that I'm trying to change, and then the value, the percentage increase, because we're going to do percentage increase for the upgrade type. Maybe. No, I think it probably won't matter, because I'm going to make a bunch of these, and then the variable name will just be string, and there's a function within Godot where you can map that string to the variable. So then I can just pass that function to the issue will be, as I think about it, the object that needs to receive that. Interesting. My idea of how this is working is going to be, let me just finish defining this. Increase. This is going to be like a float. Assuming it's a number. I might just need to make this like a dictionary. Okay. So like imagine create new resource. It's going to be an upgrade. Upgrade. Did I not spell that correctly? Yeah. Upgrade resource. And we'll just call it, what's one of the ones? Weapon damage, right? And so we can just call it weapon damage increase. This is going to be displayed to the player, right? I'll probably need to add a tooltip as well. The variable name is, if I go to the weapon resource, is very much damage. Like that's it. That's all it's called. But how will I know what object to send it to? That is the ultimate question. And just make it like a 0.2% increase, or 20%, I should say. So say that was it. There is a function that you could create, but then who do we know to distribute this to? So it upgrades the knife and guns. Right now, yeah. Yeah, it would, because I don't know, right? Like let's say it's a global weapon damage increase. All your weapons do 20% more damage. That's a pretty nice upgrade. But there's still a challenge, because right now this is very simple, right? But the player has all the stuff for the movement, and the weapon manager, like the weapons are resources. I could get to them, but how does the experience manager know, or whatever singleton or autoloader I'm going to use to distribute this stuff? Assuming the experience manager has access to an array of upgrades for it to choose from to give to the player, it's going to choose from 3 and they're going to be displayed. So you choose weapon damage increase. That gets fed back to the experience manager as a signal. It says you chose this one. Okay. The experience manager needs to give that to the weapon resources. The weapon resources have an upgrade slot. Yeah, but still, how does the experience manager know it needs to go to the weapon resource and not the player for the movement? Say, I could do a string. You could do like a string reference. Player character. That's not going to work because the weapons exist as a resource, so they don't really exist in the scene tree. You could do a signal. Just do an export. Yeah, but the weapons don't exist in the scene tree. So I guess what I could do is, we know it's always going to go to the player. Like all of these things go to the player. And so the player could be in control of it. Realistically, it can say you got, and then we can just write a little function because we know where everything is after that. We got weapon calculates damage with modifier. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, right. We could query the experience manager and say, what's the modifier? So the experience manager could be in charge of it. And every time I'm calling one of these functions, I could just check to find out. So it could be, that's a really good point. Say, for example, the sprint. Where is sprint? Where is my sprint function? On sprint. I can't even find it. Surely it's just multiplying by like an input. Could you imagine not knowing how your sprint is done? Let me go to the input. I've collapsed it. If sprint. Okay, so you could say speed modifier is sprint speed multiplied by like upgrade manager multiplier. Assuming they're all going to be like percentage increases. Or like 1 plus. Something like this. 1 plus experience manager dot like get sprint upgrade or something like that. Something along those lines. Or like I was saying before, I can create a function within the player character, because at the end of the day, the player character is the only thing that's going to be upgraded. Sure, like we could potentially do stuff with the enemy, but then we'll know that it's the enemy and we just need to like maybe create either like an enemy debuff or a player buff, something like that. I'm not sure which one I want to do. I might have to think about it. Let's go back to the experience manager. No, we want the damage detection. No. We want the enemy. No. Brain. We want the upgrades. So we want a variable name, an increase. What's another way that we could figure this out? We could maybe have everything that receives an upgrade subscribe to a signal, and then like you said, it's an enum, and if it's their enum, then they take it. Like that's how we're going to know. Maybe something like that is possible as well. If we want to keep it completely, like ideally I'd want to keep it mostly separate so that anything can work with this. So we can pass in any variable. If I think of one, I don't have to modify the code. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. But object name, and then we emit the signal, and if it matches your object name, then you're it. That's your variable. Something like that. That would work. And then it's just a matter of receiving it. So in this case, it's just like the weapons. That's not really a good way of doing it. Weapon resource. For example. Let me cook. Export var upgrades. That is upgrades. Jesus Christ. Bro can't spell. It's an array of this button here. Upgrade resources. Right? We've just got one right now. Drop that bad boy in. And then, so check level up. And then we got a signal called like on upgrade available. And it's going to pass a upgrade, which is an upgrade resource. Distribute upgrade. It's going to be an upgrade, which is also like an upgrade resource. This returns void. And for now, we just have the one. So I guess we'll pass that in, and then we just emit the signal on upgrade available. Right, emit as an example, upgrade. And so for now, because we don't have anything else, we'll just call this function distribute with missing an E. And we'll pass in the upgrades 0. So every time you get, now at the moment, we're just going to get a buff to weapon damage. But for an example, if we go to the weapon resource, and within the weapon resource, we create a function. And it's receive upgrades. Yeah, they're going to be unlocked. So right now I'm skipping that step because I don't have any upgrades to upgrade. I just want to work on the distribution system. But yeah, eventually there'll be like 3 to choose from. Like I want to create enough so that you can choose every time you level up. Oh yeah, I want weapon increase, I want movement speed increase. Whatever you feel like you need, you can choose that. Receive upgrade, and this is going to take an upgrade resource. Okay, returns void. Right, so this is where the variable name comes in. So the upgrade, so var Well, realistically, what is the function called? String variable to string to var. Converts a formatted string that was returned by var to string to the original variant. Data is a string, dictionary is a string. Is this actually going to work? Maybe I'm misinterpreting what that does. Converts one or more arguments of a variant. I've done this before, but like var to bytes, var to string, variable. String to var. Will it work? I guess that's why I'm testing it, right? String to var. Yeah, but how am I going to know? Upgrades dot variable name? String to var converts a formatted string that was returned by var to string to the original. I don't think that was returned. There's really not much in it. Like, I want to know var to string converts a variant variable to a formatted string that can then be passed by string to var. Does it need to be converted first, or can you just pass a string in? I don't know. I thought you could. But now I'm doubting myself. Is that just a function in resource? Doesn't take over path, set up local, changed, set up local to scene, requested, request local to scene, resource name, get name, resource path. Set, property name. This is it here. Right? We could use this, toString. Set, overrides the behavior set. Set, property name. This is what I'm thinking. This is the function I'm looking for. Set. Value. Upgrade. Dot. Well, it's going to need to be like more complicated than that, right? So it's going to be Is there a way that I can find out what this matches? I'm thinking. Assigns a value to a given property. If the property does not exist, the value's type, nothing happens. Oh, that's interesting. I could just call this all the time if it doesn't match. If it's not on there, like, it doesn't matter. Right, so what I can do, I really want to be able to get a property as a string name and property get revert, property can revert, property. Is there like a has variable? Has variant? To prevent runtime, see methods such as set, get, call, has method, and has signal. All right, so I can just pass in get, and if the property does not exist, the method returns null. So that's like literally just go get. So var upgrade. I'm still not going to know what it is though. That's the funny thing about it. I can say upgrade equals get and that's the same upgrade variable. If upgrade variable, right? So now, if the variant exists, we know it is there, and we have a starting value as well. So now we can say if we're just doing percentage increases, which I think is the easiest way to create a lot of these, without having to like think about how much, like all the different, like writing a more complex function to receive this information. Update, upgrade, overlay. It's just going to be like set, right? And the property name, upgrade variable, and the value variable will be upgrade variable plus no, it's a multiplier, right? So, well, that is the value, right? But then we just get upgrade. So we're going to plus, and then in brackets, upgrade variable multiplied by. I'm going to change this. It's not going to work, I don't think. Times 1 plus upgrade dot increase. Close brackets. It's very basic. I'm going to have to research more about like getting in setting and how I can actually test for that and know more about like what it is, because I'd like to get more information and potentially do it like a match. Like say I can know that it's damage, and if it's damage I want to do this, or like, you know, that kind of stuff. But for now we'll roll with this. The experience manager is just going to increase the weapon damage every single time we level up. So with that being said, let's, you know what, I want to print out that information too. Print, and it's just going to be get. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to bed. If it does, I'm going to bed. Let's level up. Die, die, die. I didn't connect the signal. So annoying. I have to do this in the weapon manager when we initialize the resources. So initialize, right? For weapon in weapon stack, initialize. So this will be like equipped weapons. We're probably not going to be able to do pickups. I don't know if we'll have time anyway. So we're doing a bunch of checks to make sure that we've got a spray file, and then we've got connect ahead. So we can go experience manager dot on upgrade available dot connect, and it's going to be weapon slot dot weapon dot, what's the function called? Receive upgrades. Okay. When upgrades available, upgrade, upgrade, emit. When upgrade available, emit. Okay. 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 Tell me this is going to work. Where are the zombies? Wave 1 is ended. Okay. It printed out 55, 0, and 110. So I think it worked. I'll be honest with you. Because this... I've only got 2 weapons, so I'm not exactly sure what the third one was. But the function seemed to go through. So we're not crashing, which is the main thing. Okay, 121, 242, 12. I should be able to like start really just mowing these guys down because the weapon's going to do so much damage. It does feel like I'm doing more. Like it used to take 4 hits, but now it takes 2. Okay, level 3, 266, 532, 7. One of them is going down. They are dying very, very, very easy. Okay, so we're definitely doing a lot of damage now, right? That's working. Maybe the math is wrong, but it's working, which I'm happy with. So now it's like literally a 1 tap. Doing 1,000 damage. Is that for real? Player character, camera, lean pivot, main camera, weapon manager, current weapon slot, blaster eye, damage, it just says 25. Yeah, but I don't know if that's like reading out the right number, to be honest. Who knows? And to be honest, the number still stays. Yeah. Okay. So we're cooking with something. We still need to do a little bit of work, to be honest, but it's a start. I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for hanging around. I really appreciate it. It's been fun. I've been doing this a little bit more. So we need to like probably, I'd say tomorrow, we are going to be obviously fine tuning this, make sure that it works. I need to like probably sit down and maybe do some reading about how I can pick up the variables that I need. I have a good feeling because as long as the variables don't share names, then I think it can work. And I don't think they do. Like, I think I've been reasonably good at not, mixing that up. But we'll see. Might have to rename some variables if I want to do something as simple as that. So yeah, that's what we're looking at tomorrow. Right now, I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Like, follow, all that kind of stuff. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Twitch, follow is always appreciated. Normally I spruik my Patreon, but I won't worry about that tonight. I don't think there's that many people around. Should we raid? Do I have enough people? I don't have enough people. It's blocked off. I don't know why. 5 viewers? Don't know. Or maybe because it's on my phone. On my phone, we can raid Pirate Software. He's nice. He's a cool dude. Let's select that. Start raid. See you later, guys. All right. They're going. YouTube. Thanks for hacking out. I'll see you guys later.